Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing, as you guys can tell by my little reindeer ears, we're going to be doing our first holiday makeup tutorial today. I am so excited. This is definitely a perfect look for a holiday party. Just something, you know, to look a little bit glam, a little bit fun, a little bit festive. So today we decided to do a glitter cut crease with a red lip moment. If you guys don't like glitter, I am sorry. You've come to the wrong channel. I am a glitter fanatic, especially when it comes holiday time, and it is so socially acceptable to wear a ton of glitter pretty much everywhere on your face and body. I am so happy with how this look came out, but before I go ahead and ramble on, this tutorial is probably long enough, so don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe if you guys are new to my channel, or if you guys have been watching without subscribing, just smash that button and let's get into this tutorial. Now that our eyes have already been primed, we are going to go in with our eyeshadow, and we're going to be using the Morphe 350 Fierce by Nature palette. I am first going to go in with the shade the OG. I'm going to be using that on a Sigma E40 tapered brush. So once I have the product on my brush, I am going to tap the excess off, and we are going to start in our crease. So what I like to do, because I do, when I look straight ahead, have slightly hooded eyes, so I will look down into my mirror, which opens this whole entire crease, and that is exactly what we're going to do. I'm going to just lightly start going back and forth in my crease with this shade, and we are going from inner to outer corner. And once I have about nothing left on my brush, I am going to go ahead and just circular motions start blending up towards my eyebrows, since we have kind of a harsh line here. We're going to just go ahead and get rid of that by buffing this shadow away. We're going to do the same thing to the other side, just looking down to open up our crease. And once I have nothing left on my brush, we're just going to do the same thing and blend it towards our brow bone just to get rid of any of these harsh lines. And because I want to add a little bit more warmth, we are going to take this shade at the top of the palette, which is called Disrupt. I'm going to be using this on a Smith 235 brush. This is one of my favorite brushes for crease work. It is a little bit on the expensive side, but if you guys can see, it is tapered, so there's like a point in the center and then it just kind of dives off at the sides. So I am just going to take this right in the outer corner of my eye first, and then I like to turn this brush to the side and start blending it through the crease. And I'm still, you know, keeping it right and tight in this crease area, right on my actual crease line. I don't want to take this color too high. And I'm going to go ahead and take this fluffy brush with no excess product on it, and we're just going to kind of buff out these edges in circular motion. Do you see the difference in both of my eyes? This just gives a little bit more of a smokier, sexier look than this side. Just deepens it up a little bit. Once you have matched both sides, we're going to start darkening up this look just a little bit more. We're going to amp it up. We're going to be taking the shade at the bottom of the palette, and this is called Stamina. This is a darker, warm brown, and we're going to be using it on a smaller brush, which is the Sigma Small Tapered Blending E45. So what I'm doing is I'm just patting the color on, getting the richest amount of pigment that I can. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start lightly with the lightest amount of pressure, blending this out. I'm going to start on my lid first and then take the point of the brush right in the crease. You guys see how it fits kind of perfectly in there? And then I am going to go back and forth, and this is going to deepen the crease, almost cutting it like a cut crease, which is what we're going to do, but this is going to make our job 10,000 times easier. But I get kind of like this little harsh line. I don't know if you guys can see it. So what I like to do is just take the point of the brush, going slightly above where I created that line, and just kind of run over it to blend it out. And as you guys can see, I mean, it's starting to blend really smoothly, which is what we want. I would like to deepen this up just a little bit more. So we are going to go in with the black shade in the palette. This shade is called Smoked Out. I'm going to be taking this on a Sigma pencil brush, and I am going to first start at my lash line and slowly start blending it up in this outer corner. I want the deepest part of my eye to be right out here. So that's where I definitely want to focus more of the black. And I am fully aware that it's going to create somewhat of a harsh line. What I'm going to do is just take that fluffier brush we did to kind of cut our crease a little, and we are just going to start blending the black with the rest of the shadow. We are going to be cutting our crease, so I'm going to be taking the brush that we use, the pencil brush. I'm not going to be adding any more black to the brush, but what I am going to do is I'm going to look down and really open up this whole part of my eye, and I am going to focus this right in the crease area. I didn't want to add too much black. That's why I didn't go and dip my brush into the black. I do want to blend this out just a little bit more. I feel like it looks a little bit harsh up in here, up in there, up in here. I am just gonna go right at the line, and as you can see, we just have a nice gradient from dark to lighter as you go up the eye towards our brow bone. Once both sides are as equal as you can get them, we are going to cut our crease. I am just going to be using the same concealer we primed our eyes with, and I'm going to be using this Anastasia A18, I think it is. I can't remember. It is just a small flat brush. I think this is a concealer brush to like kind of carve out your brows, but this is going to work perfectly to cut our crease. I am just going to take the concealer on the back of my hand. I'm going to load the brush up on both sides, getting every area that I can with concealer on it. Just like we did with the shadow, I'm going to look down so the whole area of my crease is open. And I am going to find out where I want my crease to be and starting to create that harsh line that is going to be our cut crease. So I'm going to bring the concealer kind of right over to where the black is. And it's okay if some of it gets covered up. We will go over and blend it out later. So what I do to get the sharpest line, here's my little trick, is as you see, this is a completely flat brush. I don't know if you guys can see that, but that's what I use. I just kind of take it and go right along my crease, and it gives me the sharpest line ever. We're going to be taking the shade Dead Center of the palette, this shade right here, and that is called Make Believe. So I'm going to go ahead and spray my brush with some water, and I am just going to go ahead and pack this on. So I'm using a very similar brush that we used to cut the crease with, just because it's going to be a lot easier to get the shadow to go right up to that crease line. I actually think this shadow is a pressed glitter, just by the way that it's performing, which is okay. And I'm just going to kind of just press it and move across my eye. You definitely have to press this into your lid in order for it to kind of stick down. Definitely not like ideal, but we're makeup artists here. We make it work. If you guys are watching this at home and you plan to recreate this look, here is something I would have done a little bit differently. If I knew that this was a pressed glitter, I honestly just thought that it was a very, very, very shimmery, glittery eyeshadow. I would have applied a like glitter base, or I would have left my concealer a little bit tacky, just so it would have been a little bit easier for me to kind of pack this on. It does work just fine. I do want to add a little bit of like a gold glitter. I kind of just want to amp up the look just a little bit more. So what I'm taking is the Urban Decay. This is the Midnight Cowboy glitter. With barely any pressure and barely any product, I am just going right over top. I think by having the two types of glitter, it just gives it a really just overall 3D look, and I'm kind of loving it. So I'm gonna go ahead and kind of dust away all of the stuff on my face off camera, and then I'll come back, we will put on our lashes and finish our face. So before applying false lashes, we are gonna go in with our mascara. This is the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. This is a fan favorite. Honestly, I really like this mascara. I feel like it just gives my lashes life, especially on days where I don't wear false lashes. We're going to be using the Lily lashes in the style Miami. I've had 3 different pairs of lashes. I'm just applying my lash glue if you guys are curious. I use the Duo lash glue. This is the one in the green box that kind of comes in this little tube. I was using the squeezable one for the longest time, and honestly, I really didn't know what I was missing until I tried this one. It dries so quickly, and it's also so easy to apply, and there's not much of a mess. But back to what I was saying, if you guys want to pick up any of these lashes, they are just so beautiful. They're wispy, and they just add such a va-va-voom to your eyes. Also, do not try this at home, children. The only reason I use tweezers is because I am an experienced makeup artist, and if I stab myself in the eye, I don't know, I could probably do makeup with one eye. I use tweezers because this is the applicator that I like to use. It's dangerous that close to your eye. They have lash application tools. So just because you see me using tweezers does not mean that I recommend it. Now we're going to move on to the skin. And I am going to start by priming my skin using the No Problem Prime Essence. I have been using this primer for probably the last, I would say, month or so. And this is so amazing for literally getting rid of my pores. And you probably are wondering, why are you applying it all over your face? Honestly, I just don't like to apply it in the center area. I think I have pores all over my face, so I apply it everywhere to make sure that my skin looks as smooth as it can. Then I'm going to go in with my favorite primer. As you guys know, this is the Guerlain primer. I don't even know the words to it. I am running out of it. It's a $75 primer. I really want to try different primers. I feel really bad when I'm like filming YouTube videos and I just kind of use the same primers, but my skin has been something that is just so important to me recently, and I'm just a little worrisome about changing my stuff up, especially because I love how my foundation wears using these 2 primers together. We're going to be using the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. This is in the shade 5.5. It is a little bit dark. I am going to combat it with some lighter concealers, and I'm going to be using a Morphe sponge. This is my favorite way to apply foundation. It just really goes on so smoothly, and you really don't have any excess product when using a sponge, especially this Morphe one, because it really does absorb some, not all, of your product. So you kind of just get a nice, like, even distribution of foundation and concealer all over your face. I like that it has so many sharp edges, round edges. It really just can get in every nook and cranny of my face. I've noticed some redness like in my nose area, so the sharp end just gets right in there. I don't like the way that my skin looks when I use a brush. I just think it looks a little bit streaky and a little too heavy, when with a sponge it just really absorbs any of my excess product. I'm going to be using the Stay Naked Correcting Concealer in the shade 30NY. And this is a little bit lighter, so we are going to just apply this underneath our eye. We're just tossing the concealer in our high areas of our face, which would be the Cupid's bow, the forehead, the chin, you know the drill. Then I'm going to take it with the same sponge, and we're just going to press this into the skin. Get this sharp end right against my lash line and bring it backwards. It's going to make my face appear a little bit wider, and honestly, I don't really need help in that department since I've gained so much weight. My face is fattened up a ton, but I just like to drag it out just a little bit out in this corner over here, just to kind of widen my face just a little bit. Now that I feel like we're starting to look a little bit more our color, I'm going to go ahead and set my entire face. We're going to be using the Jaclyn Hill Mood Light Luminous Powder. This is in the shade Do Me. Safe to say I've been using it for the last 3 days. So if that kind of gauges how much I like it. So I like to start underneath my eye, and I do apply it on my sponge. I just find this to be the best way to apply powder, at least for me. I just think it really soaks into the skin so much nicer when using a sponge, and I think it just lasts a lot longer and it looks better. Lately, I've noticed that with my CoverGirl powder, I just look extremely dry after I apply it. After like a full 8-hour wear, it starts to break up in this area because it just looks so dry and flaky. And I noticed with this powder, it does not do that at all. It really looks the same as when I applied it, with a little radiant glow to it. I'm gonna go do my brows really quick, and by the power of movie magic, I'm back and my brows are done. So we're gonna go in and bronze ourselves up. We look a little bit like Casper the Friendly Ghost, a little bit washed out. I'm going to be taking Hula Bronzer by Benefit. We have not used this guy on the channel in a long time. I'm going to be using the Morphe M527 to dust this all over my face. Start just kind of underneath my cheekbone here. The reason I like such a big fluffy brush for applying bronzer is A, it cuts the time down literally in half, and B, it just really does do the blending work for you. Honestly, I'm not really doing much. I'm just applying the product and it's practically blending itself out. I feel like sometimes when you just do some foundation and concealer, it really takes all the dimension out of your face. So that's why I like to go in and bronze my skin first to give us a little bit of warmth, a little bit of color, so we look like we're healthy and alive. And then I will go in and contour with some contour powders. I know that I used to never use contour powders, but something came over me and I decided that I wanted to switch my routine up. I've been loving this Cover FX palette. I've been using this contour shade right here on a smaller brush. And what I do is I suck in my cheekbone and I will apply it right underneath the cheekbone on both sides, just to give me some sculptness and some definition to my face. And another thing I've been doing lately, which is something I said I would never do, is contouring my nose, like truly contouring my nose. I have these two little humps on the side of my nose, so I like to start in a little bit closer because I want to kind of get rid of those humps. And a trick I like to do so it doesn't look as harsh is I like to just kind of blend it right into the brows. So then you kind of don't know where the nose contour is starting from. So it just also is going to snatch up here and make your nose kind of look super slim all the way down. I want a smaller nose, but I also want it to look like I have nostrils to breathe out of. I looked all over in my collection for a blush that I could use besides this one, but I really love this one. This is in the Too Faced Natural Face Palette. This is the middle blush, and this is the shade Pink Sand. I'm going to use a Sigma large contour brush, and I'm just going to apply this on the apples of our cheek, and I like to just blend it backwards just with stippling motions. It's just going to follow the same route that our blush and contour, so they're going to kind of just all get married together on our cheek and not be like three stark different colors. So back again in the personal space, we are just going to finish off the eyes. And the first shade I'm going to start off with is that Smoked Out shade on a smaller definer brush. And what I'm going to do is apply this right on this outer corner. I am going to go ahead and take this all the way in this inner corner and drag it all the way to this outer corner. Then I'm going back in with this smaller tapered brush and taking a slightly lighter shade, and with the pointed end of this brush I am just going right at the actual lash line. And the final shade we're going to use is that orange shade that we applied for our transition shade, and we're going to go the end where the shadows actually meet, and this is going to really give us that defined and blended look. As you can see, you really don't see a distinct difference between the three shades that we applied underneath our eye. It just looks like it goes from a dark black to a lighter orange. You guys also know I'm extra, so we're going to be taking that Midnight Cowboy shade from Urban Decay, that glitter we used. And I'm going to be applying this right on my inner corner. Since we are doing a festive holiday makeup tutorial today, I thought we could, you know, just add a little bit of glitter everywhere. Just helps, you know, spice up the look. And for my second to last trick, we are going to highlight. I'm going to be using the Jaclyn Hill Flash palette. And I'm going to be using the shade Iced, which is this shade right here. And I'm going to be using it on the Jaclyn J02 brush. And we are going to glow. I have to go with such a light hand because when I tried these for the first time last week, they were just so blinding and so intense that I looked like a clown. So I'm just kind of building up the pigment of the highlight to where I want it to be and where I feel most comfortable. I am going to highlight some other areas on my face. I'm just going to dab on my chin a little bit, Cupid's bow, just the tip of my nose, extremely lightly. I don't want to look crazy. I am going to take my sponge just to, you know, dull down the shine just a little bit on the other areas of my face. And the last part of this tutorial is going to be our lips. And to keep it 100% classic holiday makeup, we are going to be using a red lip. And I'm going to be first lining my lips with this LA Girl Perfect Precision Lip Liner in the shade GP720 Reddish. I like to apply lip liner first because I'm not one of those people that can apply liquid lipstick. I really need to color within the lines. So I am going to be taking the Kat Von D liquid lipstick in the shade Outlaw. This is one of my favorite reds, and it reminds me so much of a holiday red. So that's why we're going to be using this guy today. This is a liquid lipstick, and it is a little bit drying. And voila! That's a wrap for our first holiday makeup look of the year. I hope that you guys enjoyed this tutorial. And if you did, definitely give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, which will be linked down below. And don't forget to check out my last video. That'll be linked right here. Stay on the channel, have a couple laughs, learn a couple makeup techniques, and I will see you guys all in my next video. Bye, guys.